Welcome to Just Some Guy Trading with 2021 World Champion Trader Kevin McCormick. Is the stock market moving lower? We have multiple technical indicators, especially the DeMARK Combo and Sequential, that are highlighting a market decline could be in store for us in the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. Let's take a deeper dive into the charts with Kevin McCormick and Just Some Guy Trading. As always, this presentation is for educational purposes only. For this special report deep dive into the possible correction coming to the stock market, I'm going to start off with the QQQ. Today's presentation is going to be heavily using the DeMARK indicators. I will make references to some of the Williams and COT reports that I use. I also recommend watching the weekly report for May 22nd because I discuss some of those other indicators in more depth during my weekly review. But as promised, this is my in-depth review of the stock market possible decline coming up at the end of May. So, as my viewers know, back in March, I did a special report on this sell 13 that we had here, highlighting that I didn't think this was a proper sell signal, and then the market still had some legs to move higher, but I thought that maybe for the month of April that the SPY would outperform the QQQ, which was a correct call. If you want more details about how I use these, I'd recommend going back and looking at the March special report on this TD sequential 13 sell signal. What makes it different this time is that we have more alignment across the markets and time frames. When I'm using and looking at these indicators, I'd like to see them line up with time frames and retracements. So here right now with the QQQ, you can see we have a combo 13 sell exhaustion, and we have this 9 as well right now that just triggered last week. As you can see on the charts, when these are right, they're very powerful moves indicating buying and selling exhaustion. These were both great buy signals. Buy signal here. 9 was a little early then. And part of it is you never use one indicator by itself. And so today's report is going to be why I think the current sell signals could be indicating an upcoming correction in the market. So here on the daily chart, you see we have the 13. But more importantly, QQQ weekly, we also received a sell 9 signal 2 weeks ago in the QQQ weekly. So we like to see a reaction up to 4 weeks after we get this indication. This level here was areas of resistance, but it has not been a confirmed breakout yet. So we still expect the market to come back below this level of resistance. I also don't only look at QQQ and the ETFs. I like to look at the futures contracts since I am a futures trader. And we have that alignment in the futures as well. We have this 13 that I said, don't pay attention to this sell 13. And now we have the same setup in the NASDAQ futures contract with the 9 and the 13. But the story is a little different when we get into the S&P 500. If you look at the S&P 500 futures contract, we don't have these selling exhaustion signals, but we have this great level of resistance that has been in place, and the market has bounced off of it in the futures market every time, dating all the way back to September. Then our next level of resistance is up here in the S&P futures contract on a daily basis. But if we look at the S&P 500 ETF, you'll see on this one, we do have this level that's been hit. And this 13 is now saying, look out, we could have a pullback. And as I'm recording this on Tuesday, you can see here we did have some reaction and pullback to this 13. But I don't think the correction is going to start yet. Why do I feel this way? This breakout level is, I think, a false level for breakout for a lot of people. So we're going to have some short covering going on. If you go back and look at my weekly review, the hedge funds have one of their largest short positions now, I think, in almost 15 years in the S&P 500. But the actual area of resistance, in my opinion, is back at this high. And along with that level, we have a nice relative retracement off of this low from March 13th, which says that we could go up to this area and meet resistance. So when it comes to the S&P 500 and the QQQ, I think we're going to have one more move higher, and then the correction could kick in. I'm not calling for a big decline in the markets. As my viewers know, I think we've hit a new bull market cycle that is taking off, and bull markets move higher up the wall of worry, and there's a lot of people out there worried about the market right now. But why do I think these sell signals are the ones to pay attention to? The other area that is in alignment, along with the QQQ, which is heavy tech, the S&P 500 SLK is also hit buying exhaustion, and we got our sell 13 sequential signal here. There is a combo in the works behind this, and that's where, as I'm saying, I think we get another 2-3 days, move higher into the month of May, and then once we get that breakout a little bit higher, will cause some short covering by the hedge funds. That's going to be the opportunity to go short, in my opinion. There's a few other things I want to hit on and why I think that could be in place. And I think the big tell for us to know that if this upcoming move higher that we possibly could have is going to be a confirmed breakout, or our opportunity to go short is really going to be based on balance volume. Okay, I think the tell for the market's going to be on balance volume. As you can see here, I've added on balance volume to the lower area of the chart, and normally if we have these rallies, you should see on balance volume move with them. The key tell for me is when we get reverse divergence, either on a sell-off or a rally in the market. And we are setting up right now for divergence, because you can see here that we are much higher on balance volume back here in April, and then we had a decline in May with this pullback, and we've moved a little higher. But as we're making new highs right now, we're not making new highs in on balance volume. And even, with today's decline, we're starting that move lower. So my tell for the S&P 500 and the QQQ, which we'll take a look at next, is if we get that breakout, but on balance volume does not spike higher with it, that's the tell to me that it's time for us to take short signals in the market. So let's end with the look at the on balance volume on the QQQ. Same similar setup here. You can see we've had great, moves with the rally with on balance volume, but very similar to the S&P 500, but more pronounced than there. We had this rally to end the month of March, and on balance volume started declining. The market stayed flat. And then here recently with this rally, on balance volume moved up again, but we're still not making a new high, taking out this level from April. And right now as well, at these higher levels, we're having that pullback. So for me, with the QQQ and the SPY, the big tell for me is going to be if we do not get to follow through an on balance volume, it means to me we're having a false breakout and rally, and that these sell signals we're receiving from the DeMARK indicators, both combo and sequential, are indicating a possible pullback in the market, maybe just a nice healthy correction here in the market. The other pieces that I spoke about earlier that we're not going to show in the charts today is a huge short position in the market in the S&P 500 by the hedge funds. We also have some Fibonacci retracement levels we're hitting here and cycles in the market. I'm not going to hit on all those, but just know it's really a good sign for us as traders when we have multiple indicators all aligning and sending us the same signal. And right now, the signal is be cautious. We could be having a false breakout in the market, and we'll finally get that healthy correction that many people have been talking about for over 3 months. And then after that correction, I think we move higher into the end of the year. Thanks for watching Just Some Guy Trading with Kevin McCormick. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel so you know when all of my new content comes out.